Hi, I'm Doug Doherty, President and CEO of Hamilton Flourishing, and I'm so glad you've joined us today. Today we're talking to Tom Decosimo. As you may know, there are 4 seats on the school board that are opening up in the election that will be held August the 6th of this summer, and Tom is a candidate in District 2. And Tom, tell us what area of the world is District 2, and can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Doug, it's all of Signal Mountain. I would describe it as the northern part of Red Bank. It's Rivermont, Stewart Heights, kind of all the way up to 153. So it's quite a big geography.
And you've got how many schools?
We have 8 schools, 2 high schools, 2 middle schools, 4 elementaries.
Okay, good. We ask everybody on these interviews the same questions. We want to keep it fair. We're a 501c3 organization and can endorse people and can't give donations, but we can educate. And so what we thought would do good is to educate people about why the candidates think they be good candidates and what they think are the important issues. So let's get started. Tom, why are you running for the Hamilton County School Board?
Doug, Thomas Jefferson wrote, "An educated citizenry is a vital requisite to our survival as a free people." Those are important words. If you think about that, and then let's adopt them to Hamilton County, an educated citizenry is a vital requisite to our ability as a county and the cities within our county to thrive. For all the citizens of Hamilton County to thrive. And I say thrive because it's an important word.
Good. Now, what qualities or experience do you possess that qualifies you for the school board?
I think I have a unique set of qualities that combine my business experience with my civic experience. My business experience goes back to my 40 years as a partner at the Decosimo CPA firm. We grew that firm to be the largest Tennessee-based CPA firm. I spent most of my time in the mergers and acquisitions area and worked with just a lot of clients across the United States and here in Chattanooga and Hamilton County. I have since formed my own business, Decosimo Corporate Finance, which is a broker-dealer, member FINRA SIPC, and we work with companies when it's time to either sell the company or raise debt and equity. And I have affiliates who have joined that are across the nation. On the civic side, which I think is equally important, I go back to my 2 terms as the fundraising chairman for the United Way, where, Doug, I really learned the importance of children knowing how to read by 3rd grade, of children having homes to go to that allow them to retain what they've learned and just to continue to grow. I've been chairman of Richmont Graduate University / Chattanooga Bible Institute. We have 270 full-time graduate students. We're an accredited university based here in Chattanooga. I've been involved with the Chambliss Home, Children's Museum, Girls Inc. I feel like I can take that community work that I've been involved in, the business world, the people I know, whether it's in business or in government, and help from a school board to bring business and civic leaders together to help our schools grow, and to interact with the county commission, the county mayor, the city mayor, and business leaders and civic leaders and just citizens throughout the county.
Thank you. Tell us a bit, Tom. You've got a great family. I know several of them, and tell us a little bit about your family, because it is a little different.
Well, it is. And you know, it's a unique, again, let me use that word unique. Maybe not unique, but to me it's nice. I've got a mother whose family has been in Chattanooga for generations. And her family have been great contributors to our community.
What was your mother? What is that?
Well, she is a sharp. She's
Okay.
a divine. She's a Gillespie. You got to have all these, you know, in the South when someone asks who you are, they want to know who your grandparents were.
Right.
We learned that because it's an inspiration to us. We want to continue our legacy in Chattanooga. And so my mother went to public school, Signal Mountain Elementary School, Northside Junior High. She chose to go to City High, even though her mother had gone to GPS, because quite frankly, City High was one of the greatest schools in the South. She went on to the University of Georgia, where she was a Phi Beta Kappa, or in the Phi Beta Kappa key. That's not a social sorority, that's the top academics fraternity. There she met my first generation Italian father, who was going to the University of Georgia thanks to the GI Bill and his service in World War II. They met, so we had a nice combination of first generation Catholic with a fifth generation Presbyterian, and it just to me shows that at least diversity of faith and diversity of where you're from is important to the raising of their 9 children they had in 10 years. So that was another aspect of growing up. If you can imagine 9 children being raised on the work of my father as a CPA, we had a great time, and we learned a lot. I think I said my parents had 9 in 10 years, so, and I'm right in the middle. I'm number 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the oldest, I'm not the youngest.
Mm.
I'm a peacemaker.
Mm. You had to be. Tom, what is your education philosophy? Let me put it this way. In other words, why do we engage as a culture, as a community, as a state in the education of young people? What's the reason for it?
Well, it's why my father is who he is today. Neither one of his parents ever darkened the door of a schoolhouse. They just didn't have that chance when they were in Europe. When they got to the United States in 1925, my father was born, and his mother was keenly aware of the importance of education. She didn't have the formal education, but it didn't mean she wasn't a very bright woman, very bright. My father loved learning, and my father knew at an early age that the development of the mind is the most important asset anybody will ever have. What is between your ears? Believe me, I heard this 1,000,000 times. I think he was trying to tell me something. What is between your ears is the most important asset. No one can take it away from you. The mind is an incredibly powerful organ, and it gives people the chance, in the United States especially, to become whatever they want to be. This nation is made of people who were were self-starters and brought themselves up from their shoestraps. So I'm keenly aware that education is the most powerful thing we can give our students. And I believe that every student in Hamilton County deserves a fundamental education. And when I say fundamental, I mean by the 12th grade, they have the tools to either go to college, go to trade school, do whatever else they're going to do, and I hope that it prepares them for a lifetime of learning.
Good. This is an important question, Tom. It's got three things. What are the top 3 issues for you as a school board member? What next year you're going in? What will be the top 3 issues?
I hope to be going in.
Yeah.
Number 1, I touched on it with my service on the United Way, as service as the chair of the fund drive. The United Way goal, 90% of what we do, is to make sure that our children come to school ready to learn, so our schools can focus on that child having the ability to read by 3rd grade at 3rd grade level. And it's that simple. It's not simple. It's that important. My number 1 issue is that the children of Hamilton County, all the children, that's a big goal, should be reading in 3rd grade at 3rd grade level. I think if you get to that point, a lot of the barriers go away and that child is ready to move on. If you don't get to that point, that child is going to struggle immensely and have a hard time ever graduating. The second goal is our teachers. There's no question that our teachers need to be compensated fairly and appropriately, and we don't want our teachers thinking they can go to another county, another state, and do better. If we've got children that are ready to learn and are literate, there's no question that it's our teachers that are going to influence our children. I can tell you, at my time at Signal Mountain Junior High School, I can pretty much tell you every name of every teacher I had. They were a great influence to me, and we need to make sure that they're compensated for the success they have. We need to take into consideration the work environment in which they practice. A third obvious thing that we've got to struggle with, that we've got to address, and I think I can certainly lend my financial support here, is we've got a facilities issue. Now, is it a $1.3 billion facilities issue over 10 years? I don't know. That seems like an awful big number. But we do have a facilities issue. We have got to have our schools, whether they're new or whether they're just maintained, we've got to have schools that are a safe environment for our children, safe and clean, happy. I say happy, you want to walk into a nice building, especially children. Does that mean they have to be new buildings? Does that mean they have to be big mega schools? I don't know. I think we have to look at it on a community by community basis, school by school basis. But that's a big number, 1.3 billion. So it's going to take some real work over the next few years. So those would be my 3. Those are 3 very important issues we're dealing with.
My last question sort of dovetails, Tom, into the last one. How do you balance? I mean, you're a school board member for a district which represents 8 schools, but you're also part of the board of education that oversees all of Hamilton County education. So how do you balance taxpayers' concerns who pay for the school, whether it's state money, federal money, or local money, with the needs of the Hamilton County school system? How do you balance taxpayers who pay for the schools with the needs of the Hamilton County school system?
Doug, I think that's where 40 years of business does come into play. That's where I think my work with mergers and acquisitions come into play. When we, in the merger and acquisition world, in the business world, you have got a set amount of revenue that you have to deal with. You've got to be very careful in the way you operate, the way you maintain your overhead, but you've always got to be focused on the quality of the output. Now, as to my, I'm running for District 2, I have to be concerned with District 2, and I have to be an advocate. I want to be an advocate for District 2. As a Hamilton Countyan that just said that a thriving county is based on our education of all of our students, I have to be concerned with the entire county. But I do think my business background very much works into helping our CFO and helping our entire board understand how to take this $420 million or whatever it is. I mean, it represents 60% of the county budget. It's almost twice the size of the city of Chattanooga budget. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of schools, 44,000 students, over 70 schools. It's a huge responsibility. And I think it takes someone who has dealt in some pretty big transactions and worked with some pretty big businesses to understand.
Well, thanks, Tom. Thank you for your time, and that was the last question. I want to tell the audience, don't forget to register to vote, and to vote. This election is August the 6th. Early voting starts July 17th and runs through August 1st. If you do not know what district you go to vote in, if you'll go to the HamiltonFlourishing.org website, and you'll find a place there under the government where you can click on Don't Know Your District. And you put your name and your address, and it tells you exactly what district you're in. Or if you still have your voter registration card in your wallet or your purse, it's on the back of the card. It tells you where to vote. So that's good. So, and we encourage everybody to vote. Vote for the candidate of your choice. Vote for the candidate that will help our schools flourish and thrive. And Tom, I want to thank you for being with us today. And thank you for listening and watching this edition of Hamilton Flourishing.